and this backpack is way too heavy. Hi there, this is Kaat from Steps by Kaatje and welcome back to my channel. I'm taking you guys out backpacking in the 90s this time, because I already took you to the 70s where I had my childhood. Then I took you to the 80s where I kind of started backpacking, but the real work, that started only in the 90s. So let's go and find a spot to camp, and then I'll show you what I'm carrying on my back. I think I found a good spot, at least if I take out this. That's looking good. So here I am with my way too heavy 90s backpack. So but I'll show you guys what's in it, because I have quite some gear in here, you know. And I'll start with my lightweight tent. You know, she only weighs 4 kilos, so that's really lightweight. But to be honest, I never did carry 4 kilos on my bag, because yeah, it's a 2-person tent. So of course we would share it, and then you only had to carry like about 2 kilos, which is nice. So I'm gonna show you how I pitched it. Welcome to my humble home for the night. It's a comfortable tent. It's sure big enough for 2, not like the 2-person tents they make now where you have to be very skinny to fit in there with 2 persons. This is my first Thermarest. I don't know if you guys had anything like this or seen this one. At least it's still self-inflated. Although it does weigh more than 1 kilo, you don't have to blow as much, which is nice. So I'm gonna roll it out and then let it inflate himself. And I'll probably have to blow just a tiny little bit more. What else? There's something I do want to tell you about those mattresses. You know, to save some weight, when I was hiking in Torres del Paine in southern Chile, there was 3 of us. And so what we did, we took a 3-person tent and we had only 2 mattresses, and then we would lay them in the other direction and sleep like this. That way at least we saved 1 kilo. 1 kilo divided by 3. But every little bit helps. Right. My 90s sleeping bag. Well, I bought, you know, just one like this in 1990 to travel to Algeria, but my sleeping bag never arrived, so lost that one. But there was this nice 2-liter, and he gave me his sleeping bag, and he slept with the blankets that we got from the guys up there. So I was really thankful, because it's only in the 90s that I started really, you know, being adventurous and going out hiking and trekking and backpacking. And so for me, so see, this is it's not even a mummy, it's one of these, but it's a comfortable one. It weighs, I think, 1.8 kilos, and it was really good for the job. Just a bit heavy, but yeah. So, you know, really the 90s for me, you have to imagine in 1990 there was this huge travel bug, and he bit me very hard. So in the 90s I traveled all over the world, and if you're wondering how I did it, Well, I used to work at the airport, helps with getting cheap tickets. And also in 1992 I became a tour leader, so that way I was able to travel all over doing trekkings all over the world and, you know, do it for free. You had to work a bit though, but yeah, it was fun. So, but what else is in my pack here in the 90s? Oh yeah, my cooking system. I'm really pretty proud of that one. And in fact, I still quite love it. Oh, see? It's a Trangia. It's Swedish. And it works really good. It's an alcohol stove, so it will burn with, you know, just anything that has enough alcohol in there. I remember in 1995 we were traveling in the States and we would buy, you know, for the car, where there's some methanol or whatever in there. So that works really good. But how does this work? Quite easy. So this is how it stands. You have your little stove like this. You can open it up like this. You put it in here. You pour in your alcohol. You kind of try to figure out how much you're gonna need, and then you add this one on top, and well, you can have 2 pots, so you're ready to start cooking, which is really good. And I enjoyed it because, like in Termarest, it's quite windy, and this is very stable and it's very good for the wind. But of course, it weighs. What would I eat? Okay, look, I did bring a cup. Well, I remember Trangia, for example, we didn't have to filter our water. We could just, you know, we had this hanging on the backpack, and then when there was water, we just take water and drink it. I love that part of it. Don't know if I would do it now, but yeah, that's fine. It worked fine. So in the 90s, I guess it's also the start of dehydrated meals, but they were really expensive. So like this one, it's quite a good alternative, and you can still find them and use them if you want to. A few things. I have my first phone. Couldn't use it for anything else than a phone and maybe a text, but it had a phone. Also, so for navigation, I would be using maps and a compass and all that, or a trekking guide. Like this one, Trekking in Turkey, which I used when I was trekking in Turkey. And but I had a few of those. Also, the Lonely Planet has really great travel guides, which I used in the 90s, of course. Oh yeah, I have a pillow, you know, because often I would travel, you know, far away and had to fly. So, and those little pillows, they are just great when you're in an airplane. Just load them up. You put them in your neck. Go to sleep while traveling, but you can also use it. Like I have, for example, my fleece here. You know, in the 90s, we started having fleece and, you know, all kinds of good backpacking gear. Just wrap it around, and I have a pillow to sleep on, which is also very nice. What else did I bring? Oh yeah, it's in the 90s. I figured out that this kind of stuff is enough to get you dry. You don't need to take a towel, which are too heavy anyway. So I would be traveling with this one. Also, if you are in a hotel where there's a nice shower, they usually have towels, so you don't need to use this and you're comfortable. So I thought that was a great tip. And what do I have here? That's my sleep t-shirt. It's one of the Via Vias, which are travel cafes all around the world. All right, so let's talk about my backpack. It's a Lafuma backpack. It's a 70-liter one, and well, I used it a lot in the 90s and later on also in the millies. It's a 70-liter one, and you know, I could put a lot of stuff in there, which was sometimes necessary. But the heaviest backpack I ever had to start with was like 24 kilometers. And for a little girl like me, only weighing like at that time 52 kilos, that was heavy. That was in Iceland, and because we're going to cross the Vatnajökull glacier in Iceland, to get up to the glacier we had to carry our skis, we had to carry food for 9 days, we had to carry tents, had to carry everything. So yeah, that was way too heavy, but as you can see, I survived, and it was really worth it. It was a really great trip for sure. What am I wearing? I'm wearing boots. I also had my first like trekking socks. They were cool, Max, pretty good one. Still wear them, and they don't have even holes in there. You know, me and my socks with holes, well, these ones don't, and they are really old. So what else am I wearing? Well, I'm just wearing my shorts, hiking shorts. You know, the pants I was wearing in the 90s don't fit anymore, so just got this one. And I got this t-shirt. It's a t-shirt I'm really quite proud of, because it says I have climbed Kilimanjaro, Tanzania. So in 1993, on the 29th of September, I was on top of the Kilimanjaro, and it's about 5,896 meters high. So pretty high up. Pretty proud of that one. It was really heavy, and I remember the date because it was my 28th birthday. But I think that's it for now. I'm gonna go set up and get ready for bed. I think I'm gonna sleep quite comfortable, because the gear might have been heavy, but it was comfortable. So that's a good part about it, I guess. And also I remember, you know, in Nepal, we didn't even have to carry our own stuff, which was nice. And I also hiked quite a few times where we didn't have to bring tents and all that. So all right, so this was a lot of traveling and a lot of things going on in the 90s. So after this talk, I'll just put on a few pictures of that time, and hope you'll enjoy traveling a little bit with me. But this was it for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed being in the 90s with me. I hope you'll, if you haven't checked out the 80s and the 70s, I sure refer back to that one. And next week, I'm taking you into the Nillies. How does that sound? Good. All right. See you.